Tag Heuer for me is one of those brands that's a bit like Marmite. You either like it or you don't. I'd never been particularly fond of Tag. I found their designs a bit hit and miss. And the few designs I did like, for example the Carrera skeleton model, are a bit pricey for me. Although the Aqua Racer and the newly released Untitled Chronograph do tickle my fancy. But then again, the Chronograph is quite pricey, so I might have to wait until some pop up on the used market. At Christmas, my girlfriend mentioned that she wanted to get me a watch as we got engaged earlier in the year. She started to look online at potential watches and run them past me to make sure I'd actually like them. On the list was a Tag Heuer Formula 1. Out of all the watches she had shortlisted, I think the Tag was the one I was most unsure about. Nonetheless, we popped into our local Beaverbrooks and I tried it on. It's funny, isn't it, how sometimes when a watch hits your wrist, it just feels right. This was the case with the F1. The size was just right, the bracelet was comfortable, and the general finishing on the watch is superb. It has a 43mm case, 48mm lug to lug, and comes in about 12mm thick. I really like the proportion on this watch and it fits my wrist nicely. I'm glad they made the watch a decent size, none of this 40mm nonsense. Now the watch has a Quartz Movement. I know that will put some people off straight away, but I've got past the point of caring whether a watch is automatic or quartz. If the watch is nicely designed and finished well, I will wear it. And I actually love the fact that it's quartz. I can leave it in the watch box ticking away, knowing that when I want to wear it, it will be ready to go. Along with my Submariner, this is now one of the watches I wear the most. So obviously the main feature of this watch is the chronograph, which is a nice complication. The lower subdial does your split seconds, the dial on the right is the seconds, and the dial on the left is the minutes. You have the date window at the 4 o'clock position. There are applied hour markers, which I believe are filled with C3 lume, as it gives off this nice green colour. The hour markers are highly polished, and so are the hands. The bezel is fixed obviously, and features the tachymeter. It has a screw down crown and has 200 meters water resistance. I'm not an avid follower of Formula 1, but the watch subtly reminds you of its heritage with the Formula 1 text down by the subdial, which I think is good, as people who might not watch Formula 1 but like the design of the watch would not be put off by this. And then on the case back, you have a fully brushed finish with this sort of checkered flag pattern and the usual watch specs. The bracelet is fully brushed, and the clasp is fully brushed with engraved Tag Heuer. The whole case is a brushed finish, apart from the sides, which is highly polished, and also the chronograph pushers are highly polished, and this pattern going around the bezel is a mixed finish of brushed and highly polished. Now there are some small points that I feel would make the watch even better. Point number 1, more AR coating on the sapphire crystal. As the watch features a flat crystal, when outdoors it can be quite reflective. Number 2, the lug width is 21.5mm. I mean, why? It just makes it more awkward to put different straps on and limits your choices. And point number 3, the clasp appears to be stamped rather than milled. I'm not sure if this is maybe a nod to the original F1, but I think at this price point they could offer a milled clasp. The bracelet is really nicely done, and I think this lets it down a bit. Overall, I really love this watch, not just because my girlfriend got it for me, but it's genuinely a great watch. It's safe to say that with this watch, Tag Heuer have won me over. Thank you for watching, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.